Sarah walked slowly down the garden path, her sandaled feet crunching softly on the pebbled walkway. The sweet scent of honeysuckle filled the warm summer air. She lifted a hand to shade her eyes from the bright morning sun as she approached the old lemon tree at the far end of the garden. Its gnarled trunk and branches reached crookedly towards the clear blue sky, the waxy dark green leaves providing merciful shade. Plump, ripe lemons hung heavy, their tart aroma mingling with the honeysuckle perfume. Sarah reached up to pluck a lemon, feeling its cool, smooth skin and slight give under her fingertips. This lemon tree held a lifetime of memories in its sturdy bulk. Closing her eyes, Sarah was transported back to summers of her childhood, playing in its dappled shade with her little sister Lily, sipping lemonade their mother made from its bounty. Hide and seek between the twisted trunk and low-hanging boughs, the sharp citrus scent prickling their noses. Picnics on the checkered cloth spread over its roots, dollops of sunshine suspended overhead. Sarah's eyes fluttered open and she was back in the present, alone under the lemon tree with only the whisper of a breeze and birdsong for company. She gazed at the solid trunk, recalling the day her father taught her how to climb its knobby handholds and footholds when she was 7. The rough bark scraping her knees as she clambered higher and higher, determined to touch the very top, until the whole garden spread before her like a patchwork quilt. Her father standing below, hands cupped around his mouth as he shouted encouragements. The giddy thrill of reaching the uppermost branches and perching there like a triumphant explorer atop Everest. "You did it, chickadee. I'm so proud of you," he had called up to her freckled, glowing face as she gazed out over their little slice of the world, the taste of freedom and endless possibility as sweet as the scent of lemons on the back of her tongue. Sarah's fingertips traced the familiar ridges and whorls of the bark, a bittersweet smile playing on her lips. The lemon tree had seen her through so many milestones. The night of her junior prom, posing for photos in a frothy pink dress, a ring of flowers in her curled-up dew, the tree's fairy lights glinting magically, opening the college acceptance letter in its shade, whooping with delight, the paper crinkling in her hands, sitting with her back against its trunk after her beloved grandmother passed away, hot tears staining her cheeks as she grieved. It had been there for the big moments, but also for 1,000 smaller ones that stitched together the vibrant tapestry of her life. Lazy afternoons studying in its shade, the flutter of textbook pages and scratch of pencil on paper. Stolen kisses with her high school boyfriend Mark, the rasp of bark against her shirt as his lips met hers. Hushed late-night talks with Lily, giggling at inside jokes. Whenever life felt too complicated, the lemon tree was always there, stolid, unchanging, its roots anchoring her no matter how the world shifted. She had taken that steadfastness for granted, had assumed the lemon tree, like so many other things, would always be part of the backdrop of her life. But now everything was changing again, and she didn't know if she was ready. Sarah's mother's voice floated out from the kitchen window. "Sarah, honey, come on in. I've made some lemonade." Sarah wandered back up the garden path, the bright sunlight making her squint after the cool respite of the lemon tree's shade. She slid open the screen door and crossed the black and white tiled kitchen floor, the same one she used to slide across in her socks as a girl. Her mother stood at the counter, pouring the fresh lemonade into tall glasses packed with tinkling ice, sliced lemons floating on top. "Thanks, Mom," Sarah said, forcing a smile as she accepted the sweating glass and took a deep sip, the sweet tart drink quenching her thirst. Her mother eyed her over the rim of her own glass, her expression knowing. "You were out there with the old lemon tree again, weren't you?" her mother asked gently. "I know how much you love that tree, how many memories it holds for you." Sarah swallowed hard around the sudden lump in her throat and nodded. "I still can't believe you're selling the house, that some new family will be living here, playing under my lemon tree." The words came out more bitterly than she intended. Her mother set down her glass and pulled Sarah in for a hug. Sarah breathed in the familiar scent of Chanel No. 5 and lemons, the same aroma that had meant comfort since before she could remember. "Oh, honey, I know it's hard," her mother murmured. "This will always be your home, no matter who lives here. But it's time for a new chapter." Sarah nodded against her mother's shoulder, knowing she was right even as part of her wanted to plant her feet and refused to let go. Her parents were retiring to Florida. Lily was across the country in California, and Sarah had just accepted a job in Chicago. Her childhood home would soon hold another family's memories, their laughter echoing in the halls that had once rung with her own. "I know, Mom. I know it's the right thing. I'll just miss this place so much," Sarah said in a choked voice. "Miss you and Dad and Lily and our old life." She squeezed her eyes shut, remembering all the happy times suffusing every inch of the house and garden. The thought of leaving it behind, of growing up and moving on, was suddenly overwhelming. Her mother rubbed her back soothingly. "I'll miss it too, sweetheart. More than you know. But those memories aren't going anywhere. We'll always have them, no matter where we are. And now it's time to go make new ones." Sarah pulled back and drew in a deep, fortifying breath. Her mother was right, even if a part of her wanted to dig in her heels and cling to the past. But that had never been her way. Even as a little girl, she had always been the brave one, the one to climb higher and leap further, with a thirst for new adventures. Giving her mother a tremulous smile, Sarah nodded. "You're right. I'll always have my memories of the lemon tree, of all our happy times here. But now it's time to plant my own lemon tree and start a new story. I'm just scared, Mom." Her mother smiled, her hand coming up to cup Sarah's face. "Of course you are, honey. The unknown is always scary. But you've got so much ahead of you. A great new job, a city to explore, a world of possibilities. I know you'll grab life by the horns, just like you always have. You've got the world at your feet, Sarah Bear." The old childhood nickname made Sarah smile despite herself. Her mother always knew just what to say. With one last hug, Sarah took her lemonade and headed back outside to sit under her lemon tree one more time. She arranged herself between its roots and leaned her head back against the trunk, staring up at the sunlight dappling through the leaves. In 2 days, she would pack up her old life and start a new one 1,000 miles away. A thrill of mingled terror and exhilaration shot through her at the thought. The world at her feet, just waiting for her to make her mark. She knew her mother was right. It was time to be brave and leap into the unknown, just like she'd done as a little girl perched at the top of this very tree. The bark felt warm and solid against her back, grounding her as it always had. Sarah inhaled deeply, the scent of lemons filling her nose one last time. "Thank you," she whispered to the tree that had stood sentinel over her life. "Thank you for always being here. I'll never forget you." A gentle wind rustled through the leaves overhead as if in answer, a few errant leaves spiraling down to land in her lap. Sarah picked one up and turned it over in her fingers, tracing the delicate veins. She would press it between the pages of her favorite book and carry this little piece of her lemon tree with her, no matter where she went. A token of the love rooted in this place. Sarah thought of the barren fire escape outside her tiny new studio apartment in Chicago with a sudden flash of inspiration. She would buy a small lemon tree and place it out there, and tend to it just like her father had taught her with this one. Watch it grow alongside her as she carved out a new life in an unfamiliar city. And whenever she felt scared or lonely or adrift, she would sit under its burgeoning branches, breathe in its familiar scent, and let it work its steadfast magic once again. She swiped at her damp cheeks and pulled out her phone, typing out a text to her best friend Mia. "Drinks tonight? I've got something to tell you." Mia replied a few seconds later. "You know it. The rusty nail at 7? I want to hear all about Mr. Dream Job." Sarah sent back a thumbs-up emoji, smiling despite her nerves. Mia always knew how to cheer her up and give her a kick in the pants when she needed it. They had been friends since middle school, had camped out together under this lemon tree during countless sleepovers. Maybe that was one piece of her old life she could carry into her new one. Her best friend by her side, partners in crime and lemon-scented memories. Hope fluttered in Sarah's chest, small and bright as a firefly. Maybe this move wouldn't be so terrifying after all. Maybe, just maybe, it would be the start of a new adventure, a chance to grow into the woman she was meant to become. As long as she carried the love of her family and friends, the memories and lessons of her lemon tree, she could weather any storm. The world was hers for the taking. Sarah raised her face to the bright California sun filtering through the glossy leaves, letting it warm her skin. She thought back to the little girl she had once been, perched proudly at the very top of this tree. That fearless girl was still inside her, ready to spread her wings and fly. With one last stroke of the solid trunk, Sarah rose and brushed off her shorts. It was time to start packing, to pick out fabulous first day of work outfits with Mia, to figure out where to get the best Thai food in Wicker Park. Time to embrace the messy, exhilarating, heartbreaking, beautiful experience of growing up and into herself. She couldn't wait. With a final glance at her beloved lemon tree standing tall and watchful, Sarah turned and headed inside, the taste of possibility bright on her tongue.